like 35, it's, you know, you're a little bit older and blah, blah, blah. So they treat
did they scare
like
you?
checking everything a little more. Excuse me?
Right. Did they scare you and say, you know, it's
well, just because they want
riskier?
to check everything a little bit more and make sure.
Right.
So I was like on edge a little bit, and I literally couldn't. I'm like so blessed with how it's gone so far. I had a couple growing pains where I was like, obviously everything's being stretched. Or I'm like, what's that? But I'm like, I'll take it. So but yeah, I was at one point, I wasn't feeling her kick for a minute at like 4 or 5 months. And I'm like, is this normal? And then I felt like I wasn't showing for a bit. And basically it's also like, I was calling my doctor a lot. I think at one point she was like, you're good, just relax.
It's so normal though.
But do you feel like when you were first pregnant, didn't you, I felt like I'm like, oh, I'm showing. And then you don't really show for a minute with your first, right?
So it's funny because the way my pelvis is, I just show quickly all the time.
Okay.
The way that, like, where the baby sits, but I had all of those feelings. I constantly was waiting for something to go wrong. I, you know, thought that he wasn't kicking or
right.
that, you know, maybe I was having cramps and I didn't know what they were. And was I having contractions, and was my cervix right? And all of those things, because you don't know any of it, right? The second time around, you're like, give me the sushi.